With that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a seat.
For months now, Sheryl Swoopes hasn't just criticized Caitlin Clark. She's practically obsessed. One minute she's calling her a grown woman bullying kids. The next she's downplaying her entire rookie year. And just when you think she's done, she throws another jab. It's like she can't stop.
Some of your peers, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of hard, right?
And I used, Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummy.
Then boom, Cheryl Miller jumped in, the legend, the icon. And yeah, Caitlin's former coach. On the All the Smoke podcast, she didn't hold back. Straight up called Swoopes a big dummy and ripped her claims apart. But here's the real shock. Miller's defense of Caitlin isn't just personal. It hints at something huge coming for the Indiana Fever, and fans are already losing it.
3-time Player of the Year, 2-time National Championship, 2-time Tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Cheryl Miller.
But before we dig into what Miller actually said, ask yourself this. Why is a WNBA legend so obsessed with tearing down the league's biggest new star? What's really behind it? Let's rewind and break down this strange, nonstop crusade Sheryl Swoopes has launched against Caitlin Clark, from college all the way into her rookie year.
Let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
It all kicked off when Swoopes made a wild, flat-out false claim about Clark's college days. She said Caitlin was 25, basically calling her too old to be taken seriously. But in reality, Clark was just 22, a normal senior like everyone else. And when people called Swoopes out, she tried to walk it back, blaming it on COVID rules or whatever. It felt like a lazy excuse because the damage was already done.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
But Swoopes wasn't done. Next, she painted Clark as a selfish gunner, claiming she jacked up 40 shots a game. The truth? Clark averaged just 22.7. Now here's the twist. Swoopes herself took 19.2 shots in her own senior year, just 3 less. Kinda bold to throw shade when your own stats are nearly identical. And when Caitlin got close to breaking the NCAA scoring record, Swoopes flipped the script again, saying the record didn't count because Clark needed a 5th year. Really?
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
But that claim? Total lie. Clark smashed the record in just 4 years, same as every other college great. And yeah, she could have taken a 5th year thanks to COVID rules, but she didn't. Swoopes left that part out. Then came Caitlin's WNBA debut, and Swoopes loudly predicted she'd flop. But as Clark shattered rookie assist records and ran the floor like a pro, guess what? Swoopes went radio silent. Clark ended the season with 19.2 points and a league-best 8.4 assists, proving every hater wrong and locking in Rookie of the Year.
Didn't say she wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate that season.
But maybe the most revealing moment? Swoopes showed up on Angel Reese's podcast, still throwing shade at Clark, while swearing she doesn't dislike her. It was classic double talk, saying all the right things, but the tone, the digs, it told a whole different story.
Cheryl, since she was in college, I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that there was this quote by Sheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate.
People noticed. The constant jabs, the twisting of facts, it all caught up to Swoopes. She was pulled from calling a Fever game and replaced by none other than Nancy Lieberman. And Nancy, she didn't hold back. She stepped in and straight up called out the lies being pushed about Caitlin. Loud and clear.
I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend and I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you might like Boston, I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone and I was like, Cheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes in my life.
Everyone in the basketball world had been waiting, begging for someone with real credibility to speak up for Caitlin Clark. That moment finally came when Cheryl Miller walked into the All the Smoke studio and set the critics on fire. Because when a true legend, someone who's actually coached Clark, says enough is enough, what follows is one of the realest, rawest defenses women's basketball has ever seen.
Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time, sometimes maybe more than you were.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I can't fault her for what she was given.
Miller didn't just back Clark. She torched the critics with precision only a legend could bring. Her now viral takedown? Just 2 words. Come on, you big dummies. The whole studio lost it, but she wasn't done. Miller spoke with the kind of passion only someone who's coached Clark up close could have. This wasn't some talking head rambling for clicks. This was Cheryl Miller, one of the greatest ever, calling out the fake outrage and pure hypocrisy that's been circling Caitlin. And then she dropped a truth the haters never want to admit.
Look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Here's the part no one wants to say out loud, but Miller did. The uncomfortable truth, Caitlin Clark isn't hurting the league. She's lifting it. Ratings, ticket sales, attention, even the paychecks of the very people dragging her. And that's what really burns them.
You recently coached the WNBA All-Star game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job
Best coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience with her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit for her. To be around her, just talk about the type of person she is and how much she loves the game.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her. Mm-hmm. I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a Black woman and hated because of my
skin
color.
What makes Miller's defense hit so hard? She's not guessing. She's lived it. After coaching Clark in the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game, Miller got a front row seat. No edits, no hype, just the real Caitlin. And what she saw, even she didn't expect it.
I can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised. Mm-hmm. And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Mm-hmm. Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative. Mm-hmm. And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't the truth.
I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't the truth. That one line from Miller, It shattered months of media spin like glass. But she didn't stop there. She went deeper, peeling back the noise to reveal what really makes Clark different.
Her past, and I didn't know how talented she was and how well she sees the game in a 3D version, thinker, defensively a lot better than I thought and gave her credit for. So watching her and just spending a little time, and one thing, guys, that I've learned is to step back and let these kids be themselves.
Behind all of Miller's expert analysis was something even more powerful, a real emotional connection. She wasn't just breaking down Clark's skills, she was standing beside her during her lowest moments. When the Fever finally got their first win of 2024, Miller didn't just say good job. She gave Clark something no one else was offering, unshakable support right when the rookie needed it most.
He was getting hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I hugged her, I said, I'm so proud of you. I go, savor this, use this as a formula. I said, but keep being you. I said, no matter what, keep being you.
That hug between Miller and Clark after Indiana's first win, it wasn't just two basketball legends crossing paths. It was a breakthrough, a moment that exposed just how alone Clark had really felt through all the noise and hate. Miller remembered it vividly. I gave her the biggest hug I could, she said. When she saw me, it was like, oh man, finally, someone who's actually on my side. Clark had been taking hits from every direction. And finally, someone stepped in to hold her up.
It's a crown that she's wearing right now.
Right.
And it wasn't something that she self-anointed herself. It's something that's been placed on her head. And I hope people understand that. But it's everything that she's dealing with.
Miller didn't feed her cliches or empty praise. She gave her something real. Wisdom only someone who's walked that same brutal path could offer. I'm so proud of you. Savor this. Use it as a formula. But no matter what, keep being you. Those words weren't just kind. They were a lifeline, thrown to a rookie drowning in pressure, expectations, and constant judgment.
And I gave her the biggest hug that I could. And when she saw me, she was like, oh man, finally somebody I see that's on my side.
Right, they can relate.
The one thing that I said to her, and she was heading into her senior year, was have fun. No matter all the static, just make sure you find that quiet place.
When Cheryl Miller speaks, the basketball world doesn't just listen, they pay attention. And they should. 3 Naismith Player of the Year awards, 2 national titles, Olympic gold, a Hall of Fame career. But what makes her support hit even harder is that it's not just backed by a resume, it's backed by vision. Miller sees what the critics don't. Clark isn't just a scorer. She's a floor general with elite court vision, something only real hoopers recognize.
You can set a screen for Kaylin. Kaylin don't need a screen. Kaylin's got great handles. The one thing that I don't think people really appreciate about that young lady's game, she can pass the ball.
She can't pass. She got great assists.
And the bounce pass
is powerful.
which is almost non-existent in the game.
The one thing people don't appreciate enough about that young lady, she can pass the ball, Miller said, not just as a compliment, but as a declaration. Because that's what separates Clark from being just great to being transcendent. This wasn't casual praise, it was real recognition from someone who knows greatness when she sees it.
I love what they've done for the women's game from a collegiate level to now. And it's working. And it was only a matter of time. And great narratives, great storylines. But now the bottom line comes down to one thing. It's about basketball. And it's about wins.
What makes Miller's words hit even harder is where they come from, a rare place where player development meets media noise. During the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game, she saw Caitlin's greatness unfold live. No rumors, no bias, just real hoops. And with one simple observation, she cut through months of twisted narratives pushed by the old guard, like a legend clearing the air for the next one.
What advice, if any, did you share in that meeting with Caitlin? Because I know that she spoke very highly of you, got great respect for you.
I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and It's fun.
That All-Star game wasn't just about shutting down the lies. It was the start of something way bigger, a spark, a bond that could reshape the entire future of the Indiana Fever. When Caitlin nervously called Cheryl Miller coach for the first time, neither of them knew it. But in that moment, they planted the seed for what just might become the WNBA's next championship powerhouse.
I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and it's fun.
Even before they ever shared a court, Caitlin Clark had been watching Cheryl Miller from a distance with pure admiration. Obviously, Cheryl, she's one of the pioneers of our game, just an awesome person. Her energy is unreal, Clark said, the respect pouring out in every word. This wasn't just polite praise. It was genuine excitement from a rising star who knew what it meant to learn from a legend. And as the All-Star coaching news broke, that excitement only grew. For her to coach us? I was super excited when I heard, Clark said, but it was their very first interaction that hinted at something even bigger, the beginning of a partnership that could change everything.
Getting to be around those two people that have done so much for the game, for me is super special. Like, there's still two people that I really look up to and idolize and appreciate everything that they've done, and for them to have this moment too and be a part of it, like, it's just super cool.
Even with all her swagger on the court, Clark approached Miller like a student meeting her hero. I called her coach, Clark laughed, and she said, I don't know about that. We'll see how I do during the game. That one exchange, two legends at different stages, both humble, says everything about the kind of bond they're building and what makes this connection so powerful for Indiana's future. Miller sees it, that championship DNA. After getting hands-on with the team's core, she didn't hold back. Indiana has a very, very bright future. And when that kind of praise comes from someone with Olympic gold and national titles, people listen.
Holy smokes. What an opportunity. And I was excited, like really, really excited, till I found out that the team I'm coaching wants to beat the brakes off our Olympic team. I'm like, okay, the pressure's on. So now we got a game, folks. We're going to have a game, but it's been fantastic.
What blew Miller away wasn't just Clark's individual brilliance, it was the collective fearlessness of the Fever as a unit. This is not a team people want to play, she said flat out. They're not just improving, they're bold, confident, and straight up fearless. And that mindset, that edge, it's the exact ingredient champions need when the pressure hits. But what really stunned Miller? Their basketball IQ. I didn't count on it being that high, she admitted. I knew they were smart. Obviously, they play at this level. But this was next level. It wasn't just about executing plays. It was about reading the game, processing it, owning it. And that's what separates the good from the unstoppable.
And people that came well before today's game, they were skilled. They were incredible. The spotlight is now enhanced, and give these women credit. They have certainly elevated the game. But there are some truly, truly great players that could play today that played yesterday.
And you know what? And I love the way that you said piggyback, because in no way, shape, or form am I not appreciative of where the game is at and the exposure, because we get exposure. Everybody forgot Lynette Woodard until Caitlin Clark broke her scoring record.
Looking ahead to the 2025 season, there's something electric brewing in Indiana, and it's way bigger than just playbooks and game plans. What's unfolding is a bond, a deep-rooted connection between Caitlin Clark and Cheryl Miller that feels less like mentorship and more like destiny. This isn't fake chemistry for the cameras, it's real, it's raw, and it's dangerous for anyone standing in their way. Clark has openly called Miller a pioneer, someone whose personality radiates, and you can tell. This admiration runs deep. But what makes it next level? It's mutual. Miller isn't just impressed. She's stunned by Clark's court vision, calling it 3D level, the kind of awareness you can't teach. And when Miller looked her in the eyes and said, I'm so proud of you. Savor this. Use it as a formula. But keep being you. That wasn't just support. That was a torch pass. While some critics stay busy twisting facts and stirring up petty drama, this alliance, the Clark-Miller connection, is everything pure and powerful about basketball. Legacy meeting future, grit meeting grace. And if you're not paying attention, Indiana's about to catch you slipping. Because with this kind of mentorship, leadership, and fire in place, the Fever aren't just building a team. They're building a dynasty. So while the media keeps obsessing over petty drama and bitter voices from the old guard keep throwing shade, something much bigger is quietly taking shape in Indiana. The Clark-Miller bond isn't just heartwarming, it's threatening. It's disrupting the system. And maybe that's why it scares people. You've got a rookie who's breaking records, silencing critics, and now being mentored by one of the greatest minds in basketball. That's not just dangerous. That's history in the making. And let's be real. The louder the hate gets, the stronger Clark plays. The more they try to tear her down, the more legends like Cheryl Miller step up to back her. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about power, legacy, and the rise of something the league can't control. If this is the beginning, just imagine what's coming next. Trust us, you're going to want to see it. Click the video on your screen now, because the next chapter is even wilder. And don't think the drama's cooling down anytime soon, because behind the scenes, tensions are boiling. The critics, louder, the stakes, higher, and Clark, she's not backing down. With Cheryl Miller in her corner and the fever catching fire, the league is shifting. Fast. The old guard might not like it, but they can't stop it. So if you thought this was intense, wait till you see what's coming next. Hit that next video now, because the chaos is just getting started.